afternoon, everybody. It is November 19th, 2024. I am at Cameron Lake at Beaufort Provincial Park, and I had to stop because, of course, we do have a bomb cyclone coming, and we already got some wind happening here on the west coast of Vancouver Island. This is actually the inland, just before Port Alberni, between Port Alberni and Parksville. Look at those trees. See if we can get them. Now the really interesting thing here, you can already see there's debris on the ground. The interesting thing is, I believe, it is coming from the wrong direction. And I don't mean that like God picked the wrong way. I mean, normally, the wind moves west to east. We get what's called Qualicum winds through this valley. Qualicum is the name of the First Nation whose territory this is. And usually you will find the winds blowing. I'm going to turn it around here. Usually the winds are blowing from left to right, which is west to east, or usually southwest. But today, you can see all the water is moving right to left. This is an easterly. I have never seen this. I've never seen this in my life. I've lived here as an adult for 15 years. I grew up here as a kid, and I've never seen strong winds like this. This is straight east. Straight east. So these trees are actually used to very strong southwesterly winds that get funneled through the valley here. I'm going to show you where they usually come. I stopped because this is a great place to see the weather. When the wind gets up to a gale, it'll actually move along the water and push mist up from the water like a gale on the ocean. I'm in the trees here now, so the wind is a little less, which is nice. But I'm just going to turn it around here in a second, and you'll be able to see the end of the lake. So if you know Cathedral Grove, near Port Alberni, Cathedral Grove is at the end of the lake there, just on the left-hand side, just across the ridge there, the first ridge. It's in between those two ridges. That's Cathedral Grove. And normally that is where the wind comes. It funnels through that gap. That gap goes straight to the Alberni Valley and the Alberni Inlet and out to the ocean. That's normally where we get our wind. But today, not today. Not a huge amount of wind yet, but obviously enough, and from a strange enough direction that we're already seeing some trees down, just branches down on the road. So that's it for today, or at least right now. I'm going to go over to the other side of the beach here. Maybe we'll get a gust in a few seconds while I walk over there, and you'll be able to see it. I would say there's actually a weather station here after they had the major fire. Oh, there's a bit of a gust. So after they had the fire at Cameron Bluffs, they put in a weather station on the highway, which goes right past here. So there is wind measurements here. There we go. I'd say that's probably 20 knots, 25 maybe. You can see the highway there. The weather station is right there, right on the edge, right on the corner there, right by the edge of the water. So they'll be measuring that for sure. So yeah, this is not something I've ever seen before. I've never seen easterly winds this strong at Cameron Lake. All right. It's also really freaking cold. Holy crap. Ugh. Here's a fun fact. There's Roosevelt elk on Vancouver Island. They like to eat this stuff. That's what they eat during the winter time. I learned that from a friend of mine. He said when it snows and it's hard to get to the underbrush, the elk will eat the moss that falls from the trees, the old growth trees, because it grows better on the old growth, and that's what they survive on during the winter. But yeah, so far we already have some branches down. It's getting